What is up, everyone? Ikari Kenshin here with another video, and it's official. We just put 1 week in the books for Phase 2, and I gotta say, with the inclusion of runes, these new runes and abilities, this is the most fun that I've had playing this game since I played original WoW, Vanilla, and TBC Burning Crusade. I had opportunities to really enjoy playing the most OP class in the game, in my opinion, anyway, and that's the Hunter. The Hunter, I feel like, is so much fun. They bring utility, they do damage, and that's all they do. You don't ask them of anything else. That's just what they bring to the table. You already know what you're getting, right? But Phase 1 was riddled with nerfs for hunters, unfortunately. And
yet again, another hunter nerf.
Lone Wolf got a slight nerf.
Nerfed into the ground.
For the 5th, 6th, or 7th time, hunters have received another nerf.
And it was a time. It was definitely a trying time for hunters, especially with the just the feeling of overpoweredness, if that's a word.
I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better. I am better.
Right? When the Scorpions were a thing and they were doing more damage in raids than everyone else, that shit was insane. So, Phase 2 is here. And now there's a whole new way to play. As some people would say, there's a brand new meta, and I'm playing WoW in a way that I never imagined that I would.
He's about to fart. Yeah. Look at that, 339 DPS, baby.
Like, you always look at that third skill tree as a hunter, survival, and you never pay it any mind, right? Like, you don't hear about, the most powerful build is in the survival tree. Some of the most popular streamers and content creators playing hunters are doing survival hunter stuff like now. You don't hear about that stuff, but here we are in Phase 2 with these new runes and these new abilities, and Survival Hunter is topping the DPS meters once again. Well, not Survival Hunters, but Hunters are topping the DPS meters again in the form of being Survival. It's insane. So, I am here not to do any sort of like sweaty or meta or super try-hard type of deal. I'm just showing you guys what I got going on my hunter, and just because I'm having so much fun, I figured I would just share it with everyone. Alright, so the first topic on the agenda to talk about today is the runes. What am I using for runes, right? So right now I'm going with, for my chest, I am going with Heart of the Lion. Heart of the Lion, it goes without saying, it gives you 10%, gives your entire party 10% to stats, right? And then it gives you an additional 10% to stats. That's more crit, that's more agility, that's more strength, that's more attack power, that's across the board. It's 20% everything for hunters. So that's what I'm running. You can run Lone Wolf, but I don't really know how that works because I haven't tried it, and I actually have not unlocked it yet either, because the amount of resources that it takes to get the Lone Wolf rune was a little staggering for me in Phase 1, and I didn't really find it useful to have it yet. So I'll probably go back and farm Lone Wolf and see how that works. Maybe I'll let you guys know. But right now, Heart of the Lion is what we're running in chest. For gloves, I am running the Beast Mastery rune. So it does 20% increased damage and health for the pet, and it regenerates its focus by 20%. It's increased regeneration. So this is what I use when I'm doing bosses in instances or dungeons and raids. You can substitute Beast Mastery for another rune. You can substitute it for Carve. Carve is also a very good ability to use. I actually prefer to use Carve when they're doing huge pulls, like in SM, when we're doing speed runs and we're pulling like 5-7 mobs. Carve, it does exactly what it says. It carves up the meters when it comes to multiple targets. So Carve is definitely the move for me when it comes to multiple targets. Basically what it does is it's a sweeping attack that strikes all enemies in front of you by 50% weapon damage. Now it doesn't always hit hard per se, because my Carve right now is only hitting for like, I think I've seen the most like maybe like 75 damage or something like that. So it ranges depending on your attack power, obviously, but it doesn't hit for a lot, but it hits everything in front of you. So that's and it's what is it on a, I don't even know what the cooldown is for that, but it's not long. It's not a long cooldown, and it hits everything. So that's DPS that you definitely need. Moving on, I spent way too much time on that. Moving on, we decided to go with a melee specialist in our waist rune, and basically what it does is it reduces your Raptor Strike to cooldown to 3 seconds, and it makes it so that Raptor Strike is an instant ability, so it's not an on next attack ability. It also removes the cooldown for. It also reduces the cooldown for Mongoose Bite, and Raptor Strike has a 30% chance on each attack not to trigger its cooldown. So there's a 30% chance that when I use Raptor Strike, it doesn't even go on cooldown. So that's amazing. That's gonna be your bread and butter ability right there, is Raptor Strike. Remember that. The next rune that we're going with, or that we're running, is Flanking Strike. You and your pet deal simultaneous instant 100% melee damage. Afterward, your Mongoose Bite and your Raptor Strike deal 10% increased damage for 10 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. Raptor Strike has a 20% chance to reset the cooldown on Flanking Strike. So imagine not having a cooldown for your Raptor Strike after using Flanking Strike, and then resetting your Flanking Strike with your Raptor Strike, going in again for another Flanking Strike to stack up to 3 times. Okay? And that's 30% increased damage. And you're just going in. Just pumping. Last night I was in SM Cath, and I was hitting, I crit for 813. I won't forget that number because I was quite surprised. But yeah, oh shit. Oh boy, it's Stranglethorn event time. Let's put this video on hold for a minute. I'll be right back, guys. We're back. Sorry about that. I lost track of time. I thought I had plenty of time to make this video before the Blood Moon event popped. But anyhow, so the last rune that we have is going to be our dual wield specialization rune for boots. It says here it increases the damage done by your offhand weapon by 50%, causing your Raptor Strike to strike with both weapons when you are dual wielding. And Raptor Strike deals 30% increased damage when you are wielding 2 weapons of the same type. Okay, so let's talk about that part. With always, if you're running dual wield specialization, always run either double swords or double axe, whatever it is. Make sure that they're the same weapon type, because you will get a 30% increase damage output for that. Also, it causes your Raptor Strike to hit with both weapons at the same time. So that's so much damage. They're like, I mean, like that's so much damage. It's ridiculous, and I absolutely love dual wield specialization. It's super awesome because your offhand normally does not hit as hard, and it has a big chance to miss. And we're going to talk about that when we go into the talents here in a second, but the fact that you get a 50% weapon damage boost on your offhand weapon when it hits is awesome because your offhand doesn't hit very hard. So let's go into talents. All right, so talents, we have gone straight into survival. I know there are plenty of people that have gone into beast mastery, the beast mastery tree, and they're running the same runes for melee DPS, but I'm running survival. I know there's one more, I believe there's one more spec. It's like half survival up until the third line here, I think. And no, it's the second line to get savage strikes, and then the other points are into beast mastery, but I decided to go heavy into survival. So what I did was I did 3 points monster slaying and 3 points human slaying. 3% extra damage to humanoids and monsters is definitely a plus, must have. This is a PvE build, by the way, so some of these, you'll notice that some of these talents I didn't pick up because I'm not planning on really doing PvP right now, or trying to do PvP right now. So in the second line we have Savage Strikes for that 20% critical increase for your Raptor Strike and your Mongoose Bite, which is definitely something you need to have because 20% crit is, why wouldn't you want that? I put 3 points in entrapment, so it gives your immolation trap, frost trap, and explosive trap a 15% chance to entrap the target, preventing them from moving for 5 seconds. It was honestly just a placeholder to get to the next line. The next line we got here is Survivalist. I put 3 points in Survivalist because I want that extra health. For raids, when you're in boss fights and stuff, you definitely want to have that survivability. So I put 3 points in Survivalist. I put 2 points in Clever Traps, increase the duration of freezing, and Frost Trap trap effects by 30%, and the damage of immolation and explosive traps by 30%. So again, this is another placeholder to get to the next line. I rarely use traps in dungeons and in raids because of the fact that no one really does any CC. CC is like really not really a thing. So I mean, unless you're trying to do that extra damage with explosive trap, which is the only other thing I can think of, I do put explosive trap down sometimes to get that extra DPS, but it's not a huge deal for me. I'm not a Chad pumper, okay? Like, I don't really need to put explosive traps down. I already throw dynamite, you know what I mean? So it's fine. To the next line, we go into surefootedness, or sure-footed, to get that 3% chance to hit. Put all your points in there. 3% chance to hit is definitely a plus, and that goes back to what I was saying before with the dual wield specialization rune, is that your offhand actually has more of a chance to miss, or just in general, because you're dual wielding, you have a higher chance to miss. So with that 3% hit chance, it's definitely advantageous for you to put 3 points in there. I put 1 point in trap mastery, increase the chance enemies will not, or decreases decreases the chance the enemies will resist your trap effects by 5%. I put that there because I got entrapment and clever traps, so why not? I don't want them resisting my explosive trap. So I put 2 points in feign death because that's definitely something you want to have when you're running this spec. You do a lot of damage and you generate a lot of threat, so you want to have improved feign death so you can drop that aggro and continue to DPS. And the fact that this it reduces the chance for it to be resisted, helps a lot. 4% is definitely a good amount. I've gone into Killer Instinct, increasing your critical strike chance by another 3% per point. So I put 3 points in Killer Instinct, another 3% to crit. So that's 23% to crit with Savage Strikes and Killer Instinct. That is pumpage. That is super pumpage. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory too. You guys want to have that. I put 5 points in Lightning Reflexes for that extra 15% agility, which is more crit and more attack power. Definitely a plus. Have that in your build if you're planning on doing this, honestly. And Wyvern Sting, I really don't use that too often, but it's 1 point, and I was just like, well, I'll just put it here. It helps in PvP for sure, but I don't really use it in PvE. So that's my talent spec. The next thing is the gear that I have. So I am running a lot of stuff, or decent stuff from phase 1 still. So what I went with is the Artemis cowl, which is what I hear is still pretty bis for phase 2 for hunters. I've gone Scout's Medallion, 11 agility, definitely nice. I have the failed flying experiment shoulders from the quest line in Feralis. It's an escort quest that you do. Basically it's a beacon that drops off of any mob in this zone, and you take the beacon over to this cave here in the high wilderness. You go into the cave, and there's a chicken that's out of commission in there, and you just do the escort, and it gives you those shoulders. Those are bis shoulders for hunters this phase, as far as I know. 10 strength and 10 agility is definitely nice to have. I have the PvP cloak, which gives me 1% chance to crit. I have the Blaze Wind breastplate from the quest line in Badlands that gives me 3 strength and 23 agility, 5 stamina. Guys, that's so much. That's so much attack power and so much crit right there on one piece. So this is also pre-bis for me. I'm not sure if there's something in Nomer that's better than this, but right now this is definitely the best chest that I have, and I think would be the best chest to have in this at this time before you go into Nomer. These are just some random bracers, 6 agility and 4 stamina. I found them in SM. Definitely a cool drop. I am running my Void Touch leather gloves still. It's still a good and viable piece. It's got the 6 agility and 6 stam, but that's not even really the meat and potatoes of these gloves. It's the hit and the use. You get 1% chance to hit with melee or ranged attacks, and then this one, the use, in case no one knows what the use is, basically what it does is it increases your attack speed by 10% for 10 seconds. It also increases your threat, so again, you should be spec'd into improved feign death, so you shouldn't have an issue with that. My belt is the Deathkin belt, which is from phase 1. It's from a quest line in Ashenvale. If you guys don't know about that one, I'll run down real quick with it. It is in Ashenvale. Like I said, there's a quest that you pick up in Splinter Tree Post. There's a guy right next to the inn, and he gives you a quest to kill elementals over here. I can't remember the name of the quest at the moment, but you'll know it when you get it. And when you get that quest, it enables you to get the quest item from an rare spawn over there. He spawns all the time, so it's not really rare. Anyhow, he drops the orb. You do the quest line for that. You go back here, and then you take it over to Zoram, and then he gives you the belt. Easy peasy. I got these random legs from a drop also. 10 agility, 10 strength. Awesome. And I'm using my Twilight Slayer's foot pads for the feet. I haven't found anything better yet, so that's what I'm running with. I got both my Legionnaires banned, the one from level 28 and then the one from 38. Why are you killing that right in front of me, bro? I'm literally doing something. Get away. Ugh. People, I can't stand them. Anyhow, so I'm running those rings, so PvP rings, and then my Black Fathom Deep's Avengers Void Pearl with 18 attack power, and just the PvP trinket with 7 stamina on it. So for my weapons, I'm running the Legionnaire sword, which is probably the best sword that you can get right now in the game, I think, for a one-hander. I'm not sure if I didn't see any one-handed swords in Nomergon, to be honest. So I think this is what we're going to be stuck with for the remainder of Phase 2. And then we have the Vanquisher sword, which is from a quest line in Undercity for SM, where you have to kill all the bosses in SM. I think it's called Into the Scarlet Monastery, and you get this as a quest reward. It's 86 damage, 2.2 speed, and 28 attack power. So you definitely want to get your hands on that, or that's if you want. This is what I got going on. And for the bow, I have Bloodlash bow. It's from the the STV PvP event, and basically a lot of people were harping about this bow and why it has 50 strength on it. Well, for this build, this is why you have 50 strength. This build, melee hunters benefit from both agility and strength. Strength and agility give you attack power, and this bow on hit, whether it's ranged or melee, its equip is 50 strength for 15 seconds. So imagine this, and this thing procs a decent amount of time. Like it procs a lot. So 50 extra strength for 15 seconds, plus the attack power or the damage that you get, the 10% damage plus the 30% if you get 3 stacks of flanking strike. So that's definitely when those both proc at the same time and you get it, dude. Those hits, like I said, 1800. I got 813 in the SM a crit yesterday. It was amazing. But those are the pieces that I'm rocking on my hunter. Okay, so our rotation. It is not really so much a rotation, or more just kind of waiting for things to come off of cooldown. You're going to be spamming Raptor Strike a lot. That's, like I said, it's your bread and butter ability. So what you want to do is you want to open up with Flanking Strike, right? If you're at ranged, I drop a Serpent Sting while I'm running in or whatever. But I would start with Flanking Strike. That's what I normally start with, and then I follow up with Raptor Strike. Now, if both of these are on cooldown, then if I'm not running Carve, I'm spamming Wing Clip. So it's Flanking Strike, Raptor Strike, Carve, or Wing Clip. And the reason why you want to use Wing Clip in your rotation is because it actually procs Wind Fury. So if you do have a Druid or a Shaman in your group that has a Wind Fury Totem or Wild Strikes, Wing Clip will definitely proc it, and that means extra attack and extra damage. So that is the rotation right there. Pretty simple, a 3-button rotation, and Bob's your uncle. As far as a pet is concerned, what you want is a pet that has 2.0 attack speed. It's any cat for the most, not any cat, but cats in general are the preferred pet. But my pet that I have is Ikiyaki, and he is from a quest in Barrens. I got him in phase 1, and he has 2.0 attack speed. And you want to have Bite and Claw. I still need to go out and get the next rank of Bite. I believe there's rank 6 Bite and rank 5 Claw, if I'm not mistaken. And then you might want to also either get Prowl or Sprint. Sprint is basically just so your pet can get to whatever your target faster. And Prowl is he goes invisible, but when he comes out of stealth, the pet does, I think, 10% damage for a certain amount of time. So that's definitely a good ability to have for your pet. So you can definitely go and try to find a pet that has that in it. Let's see if we can find it. Let's go to Petopia. Let's go to Petopia. Guys, you can actually get your claw rank 5, or rather rank 6, sorry, from the Silk Crawlers in Swamp of Sorrows, or you can get them from Scorpion Hunters in Tenaris. I'm going to be getting mine from the Silk Crawlers, and they're right here in Swamp of Sorrows, all up and down the coast, except for the middle, of course. I don't know why, but that's where you can get your rank 6 claw. For your bite, which rank can you get bite? Rank 40? I mean, rank 6 at 40, you can get bite from the wolves in Badlands, and they're around these areas here. And this is how you get your bite. And let's see, dash, you can get rank 2 dash from the Longtooth Runners in Feralis, or you can get them from the Ridge Stalker Patriarchs in Badlands. I'm probably most likely gonna go for the Badlands because they're all over the place here. There's no way you wouldn't be able to get it. And last but not least, Prowl, and you can get Prowl from the Ridge Stalker Patriarchs, also in Badlands, and they are also here. Wait, so you can get both abilities from the same animal? That's cool and very convenient, actually. So Prowl is from those. Let me see if I can just verify that. Yep, Ridge Stalker Patriarchs. Yep, they drop. Okay, so the Ridge Stalker Patriarchs get you both abilities. Those are the 3 abilities that I would run with my pet. Obviously, I'm already running Bite and Claw, and I need to go pick up Prowl and Dash. But that is pretty much it, guys, with whatever I got going. This is my build, and it's working out. It's working out great for me. I'm absolutely loving the damage that I'm putting out. I'm having a lot of fun with Melee Hunter right now, and a lot of people are running Melee Hunter because it's top DPS, and I'm worried that we're gonna get nerfed. I'm worried, but we'll see. Guys, I know this video kind of went longer than expected, but I appreciate you. If you made it to the end, I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate all the love and support. If you could, I would really appreciate it if you'd like, hit that subscribe button. If you're new here, please subscribe and hit that notification bell, because I do make videos on a regular basis. You can also catch me streaming on Twitch on Friday nights and sometimes Saturday nights, and at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm normally either playing World of Warcraft, sometimes I play Helldivers 2, which is also another fun game. But yeah, that's where you guys can catch me, and I'll see you guys on the next one.